The Boston Celtics absolutely dismantled the Dallas Mavericks in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, folks. We're talking about a statement win, a 128-102 beatdown that has sent shockwaves through the league. The Celtics came out firing on all cylinders, showcasing their championship pedigree and leaving the Mavericks searching for answers. This is going to be an in-depth, no-holds-barred post-game analysis of Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We're going to break down every single aspect of this game, from the Celtics' stifling defense to the Mavericks' offensive struggles. We're going to talk about the adjustments both teams need to make, the key matchups to watch, and what this all means for the rest of the series. So buckle up, folks, because we're about to dive deep into the heart of this epic showdown. We're going to separate the contenders from the pretenders, the truth from the hype, and we're going to do it with the passion and intensity that only First Take can deliver. Let's talk about the Celtics team performance, because what we witnessed last night was nothing short of spectacular. They were firing on all cylinders, playing with a level of synergy and precision that was simply breathtaking. From the opening tip-off, the Celtics were locked in, moving the ball with purpose, finding the open man and knocking down shots like it was a scrimmage. Their offense was clicking on all levels, with Jayson, Tatum and Jaylen Brown leading the charge. But it was the contributions from the supporting cast that truly made the difference. Marcus Smart was dishing out dimes like they were going out of style, Al Horford was a monster on the boards, and Derek White provided that spark off the bench that every championship team needs. This wasn't just about individual brilliance, though. This was about a team that was in perfect sync, a team that knew its identity and played to its strengths. They were selfless, they were aggressive, and they were relentless. They played with a chip on their shoulder like they had something to prove, and by the time the final buzzer sounded, they had made their statement loud and clear. The Celtics' performance in Game 1 was a masterclass in teamwork, a testament to the power of unity and collective determination. They showed the league what they're capable of, and if they can maintain this level of play, they're going to be a very tough out in this series. Now, let's talk about the Celtics' defense, because that's where this game was truly won. They were absolutely suffocating, locking down the Mavericks' star players and forcing them into tough contested shots all night long. Their defensive game plan was clear from the outset. Make life difficult for Luka Doncic. They threw double teams at him, they forced him to give up the ball, and they never let him get comfortable. Doncic is a phenomenal player, but even he couldn't overcome the Celtics' relentless pressure. But it wasn't just about shutting down Doncic. The Celtics were all over the court, disrupting passing lanes, contesting shots, and making every possession a battle for the Mavericks. They were physical, they were aggressive, and they were disciplined. This Celtics defense is the real deal, folks. They're long, they're athletic, and they have a knack for making life miserable for opposing offenses. They're going to be a nightmare matchup for the Mavericks in this series if Dallas can't find a way to solve this defensive puzzle. Now, let's talk about the Mavericks' performance. And frankly, it was a night to forget for Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. They just couldn't get anything going offensively, and the Celtics deserve a lot of credit for that. Doncic, in particular, looked out of sorts. He's used to dictating the pace of the game, but the Celtics' defense never allowed him to get into any kind of rhythm. They were physical with him, they were relentless, and they forced him into a lot of turnovers. Kyrie Irving, on the other hand, struggled to find his shot. He had some open looks that he normally makes, but they just weren't falling for him tonight. The Celtics' defense deserves credit for making things difficult for him, but Kyrie is a streaky shooter, and he's going to need to find a way to get hot if the Mavericks want to get back into this series. The Mavericks need more from their role players. They can't rely solely on Doncic and Irving to carry the offensive load. Guys like Christian Wood and Tim Hardaway Jr. are going to have to step up and make some plays. The Mavericks are a talented team, but they looked completely overwhelmed in Game 1. They need to find a way to regroup, make adjustments, and come out with more energy and intensity in Game 2. So the big question now is, what adjustments can the Mavericks make for Game 2? First and foremost, they have to find a way to get Luka Doncic going. He's the engine that makes their offense run, and if he's not firing on all cylinders, they're going to struggle to score points. They need to find ways to get him open looks, whether it's through off-ball screens, pick and rolls, or simply running more sets for him. They also need to do a better job of spacing the floor and giving him room to operate. Secondly, the Mavericks have got to find a way to match the Celtics' intensity. Boston came out with a fire in their belly, and they were the more aggressive team from start to finish. The Mavericks need to match that intensity, if not surpass it, if they want to have any chance of evening up this series. Finally, the Mavericks have to figure out a way to solve this Celtics defense. It's easier said than done, but they need to find a way to get their offense going, whether it's through ball movement, player movement, or simply making more shots. They can't afford to have another game where they shoot below 40% from the field. The Mavericks have a lot of work to do. If they want to turn this series around, they need to come out with a sense of urgency in Game 2, and they need to show that they're capable of competing with this Celtics team. Well, folks, Game 1 was a statement win for the Boston Celtics. They came out and proved that they're the real deal, but this series is far from over. The Dallas Mavericks are a proud team, and they're going to come out swinging in Game 2. I expect to see a much more competitive game, with the Mavericks making adjustments and coming out with a sense of urgency. But the Celtics have shown that they're not going to back down from a challenge, and I expect them to be ready for whatever the Mavericks throw at them. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the action, because this series is about to get real interesting.